Welcome back, guys. As you can tell, the wind is howling outside and it's blowing wet snow everywhere, so it's a pretty nasty day out. But this is part 2 of the 560 project. So let me go over what I've done since the last video. So I went ahead and I took the seat off. I taped up the dash, lever cover, steering wheel. I'm not taking that stuff off because I don't need to. I taped over the hydraulic SCV and everything. Plugged up the manifolds, the air cleaner, the sediment bowl assembly's been all taped over and plugged up. I started sanding on the tractor. So everything, so you can see that right there. There's a lot to do still. But yeah, sanding has started. There's a lot more to do. So what's gonna happen in this video is I'm going to be taking the wheels off. Now I'm not sure I'm gonna do that today, but that's gonna happen. First, we're gonna pull the front wheels off, get that blocked up, and then we're gonna pull the rear wheels off. So stay tuned. This could get pretty fun. The first test painting has been done. I painted the carburetor black and got that out of the way. That looks great. And so first piece to the tractor been painted. So we're slowly making our way there. Pretty soon, guys, this tractor will be a nice red and white International Harvester beauty. I love it. This is one of the family's favorite tractors. My grandpa's favorite. Would have been my aunt's favorite. She loved it. So it'd just be, once it's done, it'd be cool if they could see it once it's done. But you know, I'm gonna do my best to do something that I know that they would be proud of. But so yeah. But in the meantime, it's a little colder today. It's like in the 40s, or it's like in the high 30s or 40s or something like that. It's just really nasty out. So let's get to it soon. Front wheels are off the tractor. That was pretty easy. Impact got them all taken off pretty easily. I had these off last year, so they weren't too hard to take off. I ran into some issues trying to get stuff boarded at the right height, but I think I got it to where I want it. I'm gonna leave it at that. So next is these rear tires. Now, I'm trying to think how I'm gonna do this, because here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Most people would probably set it down on the final drive housing, but then I can't get to it and sand and paint that. I could put it underneath the edge of the cast center, but that is two issues. Number one, the tractor could possibly roll off. And most of all, well, I can't spin the cast center around to do it. Last but not least, I could try and set it down on the hitch, but I'm not sure I want to do that. That might not be safe. I know that you can use this hitch back in the day to lift the tractor up. I have all the wheel weights taken off, so it's probably not super heavy right now. But I think what I'm going to do, when these next days when it warms up, I'm going to sand that area underneath there, and then prime and paint it. Well, never mind. I think I'm going to lift on the outside of this area right here. And then I will go ahead and just do the whole tractor, and then when I'm done, I will have to touch up what's there. So it's just one of those things you have to do. I really wish I didn't have to do it, but I have to apparently. So that, I got one of the options. I could set it under the very bottom of the tractor. I really don't want to do that though, because that might hinder getting to access to the hitch to paint it. So that's kind of the issue we're running into. But front end's done. Now I can get to the front bolster and the front hubs, and I can get those sanded, and then so we can paint them. There's not a whole lot to sand on this tractor, really. I have a suspicion. Let me show you this engine real quickly. I am not certain they repainted this motor. This tractor has had 3 rebuilds, and that was many years ago, back in the last century. This thing had several engine rebuilds when it was used a lot, and I'm not sure they repainted that engine block or the head. There are things that are telling me that. So, I mean, but it looks pretty good. That or they put the wrong kind. Well, maybe they did paint it, but they put like an orange paint on it. Wasn't really a good paint. I got some sanding to do and some wire wheeling, lots of little things. It's going to take quite a bit of time, but that's why I started it now, so that way I can maybe have this thing done sometime in April. And then this tractor will be ready to go for the work season. I have her pretty torn down now. That's how all my restorations go. Let me show you something I did last night. As you heard me mention earlier, I painted the carb. Looks pretty good. As good as it needs to get. So, black paint on the carburetor doesn't last forever, so not too worried about it. So yeah, pretty good. One of our next things we're gonna paint is the distributor. I'm gonna do that at some point, get that out of the way. At some point I'm gonna do the air cleaner, get that done out of the way. There's a lot of little pieces I just wanna get done first. And then at some point I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna get the main frame of the tractor done, get the wheel rims done so I can get the tractor drivable, and then I will do the tin. The tin will be the very last step on the tractor. I think I'm gonna go ahead and possibly replace all the plugs while we're at it. These are old spark plugs. I think it's due for some new ones. So, yeah. I had these plugs out, probably about a year ago. And when I did, they were I cleaned them up when I did, but it's just, I'm just gonna replace them all once I've painted it. So hoping to have the whole tractor looking like clean and shiny soon so we can start priming. I'm not gonna prime the whole tractor. There's some parts of the tractor I'm probably just gonna leave bare paint. I'm gonna sand it just to kind of rough up the surface, like right here. This is, all I gotta do is just put some paint on that. No one's gonna see that. It's already really good paint, and it's not worth taking it to the bare metal. It just isn't. So, stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of work. Once it gets nicer, I'm gonna bring the little air compressor generator up here. The air compressor, that's what I use to blow this thing off and paint it, and lots of work. So yeah, one step closer. All right, guys, the next day. I got one of the front tires taped up. I need to tape up the other one. But the big thing I did, I know I didn't film this, but I'm gonna show you. All right, guys, the rear tires and rims are taken off the tractor. Wasn't that hard. The hardest part was just figuring out how I was gonna block it up, and that's what I went with right there. Jack stands on the axles, because I usually don't paint the axles specifically. They'll get red paint on them. I can always touch those up later. So that's what I'm gonna do there. So now I can get to everything a lot easier, and I can finish cleaning this. And this is all the disassembly needed to paint this part of the tractor. And then these will be cleaned up, painted silver, put back on the back of the tractor. The front rims we painted red, put back on the front of the tractor. And we'll be one step closer to this tractor being done. I think it turned out great. We got a lot of cleanup to do on this thing. So let's do it. That's it right there. Looking good. And thanks to my handy dandy partner here. That's how we got him off. All right, next step. Now that the rear wheels are off, I've started sanding up again. I'm gonna show you where I've started and kind of what my game plan is to try and get this thing to. So started on this area of the chassis. I'm gonna basically split the tractor right here, do one side, do the other side, and then I come up and I do this side. Some of this stuff up top is just gonna get sanded. It's not gonna get wire wheeled just because it's still in pretty good shape. That's the plan for that. And fuel tank, I'm not gonna sand it, but if it gets little dings and paint on it, it's fine. Most of it's not gonna be seen. But so that's the plan for that. Gotta admit, that looks pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with this tractor. Yeah, I got a little more cleanup to do here. A lot of cleanup, but that's the point. Got to clean the bolster and the front hubs up. There's it from the back. Wow, it looks pretty different when it's torn down. Pretty different, but that's what we want. So we will get this thing cleaned up. It's gonna take a lot of time and effort, but we'll get her there, and then we'll be ready for the biggest restoration I've done. The plan is I'm gonna replace all 6 of these Autolite plugs with new Autolite plugs. These have never been changed in my, and at least in my life that I can remember. And I cleaned them up last year, but they could use replacing. That's just the plan for that, so yeah. All right, well, I think that's it for this part. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next part where we're going to get this whole thing sanded. And then the part after that will hopefully be painting. So, yeah.